Imagine you're walking through a vast, silent field. In front of you, there's an abandoned garden. The plants are dry, the flowers don't bloom, and the branches seem fragile. As you approach, you realize that this garden was once full of life but has been neglected for too long. Then something catches your attention. Amidst the chaos, you find a small water fountain still dripping, trying to keep alive the last flower that remains resilient. The scene seems simple, but it carries a deep lesson. How many times have you felt that your life was like that garden, stuck in a cycle of emotional neglect, waiting for someone or something to come and save your happiness? What if I told you that this small water source is the key to regaining control of your garden and your life? In this video, I'm going to show you how to nurture your emotions and prune away what no longer serves you, using 10 simple yet powerful tactics that will transform the way you deal with emotional dependence. Are you ready to water your own garden and reclaim your inner peace? Then keep watching, because what comes next could change how you see your own emotions. 1. Take care of your own plot. Imagine for a moment a completely abandoned garden. The plants are withered, the flowers don't even dare to bloom, and the bushes are nothing more than dry, lifeless branches. Now think of your life as that garden. If you don't take the time to care for and water your own plot, what do you think will happen? It'll end up as depressing as the most forgotten garden in the neighborhood. Stoic philosophy has a lot to teach us about this. It says that instead of trying to control others' gardens, the emotions, reactions, and behaviors of people around you, you should focus on your own. In a chaotic world, where control over others is an illusion, we often forget something essential: ourselves. The first step in freeing yourself from emotional dependence is taking care of yourself, nurturing your well-being, like tending to a delicate plant. Think about it. If you leave your happiness in the hands of others, it's like leaving your garden to the whims of the weather, hoping it will rain to water it. But the weather might not cooperate, and the garden will start to wither. If you want to eliminate emotional dependence, start by watering your own plants, meaning prioritize your needs and take care of yourself. This might mean setting aside more time for yourself, or even cutting out negative thoughts, like pulling weeds that choke your flowers. You are responsible for your own well-being, and as Stoic philosophy teaches us, we should only worry about what we can control. Are you caring for your emotions with the same dedication you'd want others to have? This doesn't mean closing yourself off, but rather strengthening your inner foundation so that, no matter what happens around you, your inner peace remains intact. 2. Stop being demanding and say goodbye to perfectionism. Have you ever felt like you're constantly chasing an unattainable perfection? Trying to be perfect all the time is like trying to catch a falling star with a butterfly net. Beautiful in theory, but completely useless in practice. Perfectionism is one of the biggest enemies of inner peace. It's always whispering in your ear that you could have done something better, that your effort is never enough. This desire for perfection leads you to overanalyze every detail to exhaustion, and of course to judge yourself harshly. But here's the point. While you're fixated on achieving an ideal version of yourself or a situation, life keeps passing you by. Have you ever stopped to think about how much you miss while tirelessly chasing the unattainable? Stoic philosophy offers relief from this burden. It teaches us that instead of pursuing perfection, we should focus on what we can control and accept our limitations. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great representatives of this philosophy, understood that life isn't about getting everything exactly as planned, but about responding as best as possible to the circumstances that arise. When you set realistic expectations, you allow progress, not perfection, to become your focus. Are you setting impossible goals for yourself and, as a result, ensuring a constant sense of failure? Sometimes the solution is simply to accept that things don't need to be flawless to be good enough. Learn to recognize and celebrate every small achievement. Progress isn't measured by the absence of mistakes, but by continuous effort and the ability to learn from each experience. Life doesn't need perfection. It needs your authenticity and perseverance. 3. Meet new people. Human relationships can be a real minefield, can't they? Meeting new people can seem as challenging as trying to tame a dragon. But here's where the magic happens. When you open yourself to new connections, you discover that the world is much bigger than your comfort zone. Are you stuck in a social routine that limits your growth? Emotional dependence often stems from a restricted social circle, where a few people take on fundamental roles in your life, creating a sense of emptiness when they're not around. But the Stoics teach us that just as we should care for our emotions, we must also nurture our relationships in a healthy way. Meeting new people doesn't mean throwing yourself into parties or social events indiscriminately. It's about opening up to the unknown, allowing yourself to learn from the stories and experiences of others. Have you ever thought about how these connections can challenge you to grow? The art of conversation isn't just about talking about yourself, but about listening and absorbing what others have to offer. And if the fear of rejection is holding you back, remember, rejection isn't the end of the road. It's just an opportunity to redirect your energy. Accepting what we cannot change is one of the key lessons of Stoic philosophy. So, allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone and see new relationships as opportunities to expand your emotional and intellectual horizons. 4. Engage in enjoyable activities. How many times have you allowed yourself to truly enjoy your free time? And when I say enjoy, I'm not talking about sinking into the couch with a mediocre TV show. I'm talking about using your leisure time consciously, turning it into an experience of self-care and rejuvenation. In the rush of daily life, leisure is often seen as a reward after a long day of work. But the Stoics remind us that time shouldn't be wasted but cultivated. If your leisure time is merely an escape from reality, you're missing out on the chance to use it as a form of personal growth. Have you been using your free time consciously? Engaging in enjoyable activities might mean investing in hobbies that challenge your mind, like learning something new, reading books that expand your perspective, or simply spending time in nature. Don't underestimate the power of well-spent leisure. When you turn these moments into experiences that nurture your being, your inner garden blooms, bringing more balance and well-being to all areas of your life. 5. Spend time with yourself. Let's be honest, how often do you avoid being alone out of fear of facing your own thoughts? Spending time with yourself can seem scary, especially when the silence reveals issues you try to hide. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that true freedom begins when we are comfortable in our own company. Imagine your mind is a garden. If you only spend time in that garden when there are visitors, it becomes neglected, full of weeds. But when you dedicate time to being alone, you begin to care for that inner space, pulling out weeds and allowing the flowers to grow. Have you been paying attention to your inner garden? Learning to be alone is essential for emotional growth. Use this time to reflect, organize your thoughts, and strengthen your inner peace. The more you know yourself, the easier it will be to handle external influences without losing your essence. 6. Learn to say no. We live in a world of constant demands and pressures, and saying yes all the time can seem like an obligation. However, what we often don't realize is that every yes we say to others may mean a no we say to ourselves. Saying no is not a weakness, it's strength. When you set boundaries and learn to decline invitations, favors, or requests that aren't aligned with your needs, you're protecting your energy and time. Do you have trouble saying no? Emotional dependence often leads us to try to please everyone, even at the expense of our own well-being. Learning to say no is like hiring a gardener to keep your garden in order. By eliminating commitments that don't add value to your life, you create space for what truly matters. 7. Invest in yourself. The world is full of traps that make us believe investing in ourselves is selfish. But the truth is, in order to give our best to others, we first need to be whole ourselves. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of prioritizing our well-being. Investing in yourself means dedicating time, energy, and even resources to your development, whether physically, emotionally, or intellectually. Have you been investing in yourself? Invest in activities that improve your well-being, such as meditating, learning something new, exercising, or simply resting. Remember, your well-being is the foundation of a balanced life. 8. Set firm boundaries in new relationships. Ah, love. It can be as enchanting as it is dangerous if you don't know how to set your boundaries from the start. In new relationships, it's easy to get carried away by the emotions of the moment and ignore red flags. Are you placing your values and well-being on the back burner? Setting clear boundaries from the beginning is the key to protecting your emotional health. The Stoics teach us that our inner peace should not be sacrificed in the name of love. Define what's acceptable and what isn't, and remember that mutual respect is essential for any lasting relationship. 9. Don't accept less than you give. Healthy relationships are based on reciprocity. If you constantly find yourself giving more than you receive, it's time to reevaluate this dynamic. Are you accepting less than you deserve? The Stoics remind us that giving and receiving are essential for balance. Don't accept less than you offer, not out of selfishness, but because you deserve to be in a relationship where your effort is valued and recognized. 10. Communicate assertively. Finally, the key to eliminating emotional dependence lies in assertive communication. Do you feel like an open book, waiting for someone to read you? Assertive communication is the foundation of healthy relationships. Expressing your needs and feelings clearly without expecting others to guess prevents misunderstandings and frustrations. Have you been communicating clearly and honestly? Learning to express yourself with respect and clarity not only strengthens your relationships but also frees you from relying on others' approval. Thank you for joining us on this Stoic journey. Remember always, the power to shape our happiness lies in our own hands, and through the constant practice of virtue and understanding of the things within our control, we can find peace and fulfillment. Keep exploring the depths of Stoicism in your daily life. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with others who might benefit from Stoic wisdom. Until next time, may Stoic wisdom light your way.